Hello, you are very much welcome to my channel. The channel is Sonia's Palo, and if as of now you haven't subscribed, kindly hit the subscribe button and do that. Today we want to have a very interesting discussion. We want to talk about ourselves, and to help me do that, we have in our midst, or I have a Reverend Father from the Catholic Diocese of Home, and he is in the person of Reverend Father Eric Bolola Dadui. Father, you are welcome.
Thank you.
I would like to look into the world and have a sense of who I am. I would like to have a full sense of who I am. I would really like to be so integrated with the fullness of who I am that I'm accepting this world in the fullness of all that it is.
Okay, so let me just say something brief about today's topic for discussion. We've been hearing about self-love. People keep talking about the fact that I love myself, this and that. So yes, we want to talk about self-love. Is it even important for an individual? Is it necessary for us as individuals to help us in the journey of life? So basically the topic is self-love. Yes, so Father, back to you. When we talk about self-love, what does it mean, or what is self-love?
Okay, I would like to put it in a scenario form.
Okay.
Say you go for programs and then you see one of your friends just responding to you in the course of whatever you may be doing. You just get up and say, respect yourself.
Okay.
Respect yourself. That actually connotes an evaluation of whatever you are doing.
Okay.
So it could be born out of what you are going through at a particular time, or something that you are trying to bring on board. So self-love, people can kind to look at it as an imaginary something, but it's not imaginary. Some also tend to look at it from the point of self-concept, but it's not self-concept. It's not self-image too. But we will say it is an evaluation of your core values. That is self-love. What makes you who you are and how you present it out. That is self-love. So in that scenario, the guy was trying to mess up, and he was told, respect yourself.
All right. That's, to me, is so quite a deep explanation. Evaluation of self.
Yes.
Is self-love. Okay, that will lead me to my next question. How can one love him or herself, or how can one evaluate him or herself?
Good. See, I want to pick it from the scripture sense. When Jesus talks about loving a neighbor as thyself,
Okay.
sometimes people have challenges with that. He said God says love your neighbor as yourself. He didn't say love your neighbor more than yourself. So you see, self-love is important in everything we do. See, when you respect yourself, you tend to give others that same respect, that same values, that core values that someone cherishes.
Okay.
So what somebody cherishes, he or she brings it out. It becomes something innate, inborn, that the person brings out for you to feel, for you to appreciate. There are various theories that tries to explain this concept of self-love, and sometimes people look at it from the point of self-esteem, high self-esteem. So the esteem part is what we try to look at. See, there was this lady, a blogger. She also wrote something on this. She says we have 4 stages of self-love, and what she placed there was basically some 4 critical things that each and everyone needs to pay attention to in the course of our life. Says as a growing human being, we should know that we have weaknesses, we have challenges, we have struggles, and he named that as our first point in life. Your struggles or whatever your weakness, you should be able to identify them, and that is the first stage of loving yourself. Because if you don't know yourself, you can't love yourself. So if you don't know yourself, you can't really know what is inside you that you want to give out and what is outside you want to give in.
Okay.
But self-love, we don't normally pick from what is outside to yourself, but what you can give out.
Okay.
So kind of self-emptying, kind of sharing, kind of sacrificing. So she said, after identifying that, then you need to know that you have to forgive yourself, because some of these struggles you go through are not things necessarily that you need to be afraid of, but something you know that it is you. See, if after it being part of you, identifying with it and now asking for forgiveness, then she identifies another stage. He said you shouldn't give chance to that negative voice inside you, which says you can't do it, you can't overcome it. You see, that serenity prayer that some of us are kind of used of, that God should give you the grace to accept things, blah blah blah. But well, still with the grace of God, we can do something. You know, it comes to alcoholics. You know, it's not something you could just overcome. You need to identify those who have come out of it. So the third stage she identified is to building on your relations.
Okay.
Yes, know your core values. After identifying them, know your struggles. In the course of the struggles, you tend to forgive yourself. After forgiving yourself, then identify with those who have those same values as yours, and those who can help you grow out of your self-pity or low self-esteem. So after that, then out of what you have gained, you begin to feel fulfillment, and then with what you've gained, you begin to share, build networks. Then by then you become someone who is sharing your experiential knowledge. So basically, we may look at self-love from this concept, and I think it's okay to do with each one of us going through something or a particular weakness in life.
Okay, so that was very insightful. So from what you just said, can we see that as an individual, your confidence level can be derived from self-love or self-evaluation?
Exactly.
Okay.
See, many of us look at confidence like something we need to stand with. See, so married couples, they tend to look at each other as, this is my confidant.
Yeah.
This is in whom I am well pleased. This is in whom, whenever he or she is beside me, I can feel that I have the energy to carry on.
Great.
So it's kind of self-value. You could look at it from that sense too.
Oh, okay. That's fine. And you made mention of the Bible talking about love your neighbor as yourself.
Yeah.
But seriously, with us, this generation, what is going on now? It is difficult to love your neighbor as yourself. I know God would want you to even love your neighbor more than yourself. But it's difficult to do. So we all tend to love ourselves more than our neighbors. A neighbor in this sense, anybody around you at all is your neighbor. It could be your family or your friend, anybody in your circle. So with this kind of challenge, how can we, should I say, readjust this? Because I'm saying this from the angle of breaking of trust almost all the time, from friends, family, even those who are closer. So when it happens this way, loving a neighbor, it's even difficult. Talk less of going to the extent of loving the neighbor more than yourself. How can we deal with this?
Wow, this is a very beautiful question and very deep. You know, loving a neighbor has multi-dimensions.
Okay.
So we will just pick just something simple out of it. And since we are trying to look at self-love, you look at things that make you who you are. What are things you have that you think your neighbor, you can share with your neighbor?
And some of those things are
your honesty, your truthfulness. As you said, sometimes people break the trust.
Yes.
When I confide in you and tell you something about me, the next moment I'm hearing you somewhere. That means you don't have the core value of trust. So I can't trust you with any other thing again.
Yeah.
Yes. So when it comes to that, our modern world, that is one of the greatest challenge in Christianity too. See, following Christ is not easy. Being a Christian is not easy. And someone asked me, who is a Christian? And I was kind of, wow. It was a deeper question. Looking at things surrounding him, the events of life unfolding around him, and how he expected the other Christians to treat him. He wasn't feeling welcome. He kind of felt like self-pity for himself. So she developed kind of a low self-esteem for herself. She realized that even when I ask, I won't get that needed help. So why won't I just continue with my pity life? So you could look at people who may have higher sense of integrity, as in self-love. And some also tend to look at it that if I make myself happy, then I am worth self-love. And that what is debatable, because what is worth you may be of value, self-value, but may not necessarily be born out of love.
Okay, so sometimes it could be as a result of trying to dodge
an event
of
life.
You tend to shield yourself in some particular way. Good. In the name of self-love.
Good.
Meanwhile, it's not self-love.
It's not self-love.
But it's not our fault. Like, human beings, I don't know, we are all different. Well, that I understand. We are different in our own ways. But
see, our generational character, where we are heading towards in this generation of ours, we tend to be greedy, selfish, and the habit of claiming all. Let me destroy you so that I will be happy. See, to him that is self-fulfillment, that is self-love. If I destroy you and I'm happy, and it's not self-love. That is a weakness that you need to work on. You see, people become sadists. They tend to be happy when people are sad. And that is not self-love. You can't be a sadist and say that is how I am or who I am. So that lady's 4 stages come to play here. Okay. Abi, interesting. That is social media and its impact among the youth and this generation as a whole.